and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we have 4 out of our 7, so we do have a quorum. We need to adopt the minutes from January 12th. Everybody have a chance to look those over or have any questions about them?
No questions.
If not, I need a motion to accept.
Move to accept.
Gene makes a motion.
I second.
Eric seconds. Any discussion? All those in favor of accepting signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Do we have any agenda considerations for this evening? All righty. Is there anyone in the public that would like to make a comment at this time? Public? All right. New business is the public hearing on the Thorntown Unified Development Ordinance, or the UDO. This is a public hearing concerning the adoption of the Thorntown Unified Development Ordinance and new zoning map. That if you were here a couple of weeks ago, you got to see those and partake in some discussion, which we had some great discussion.
Mm-hmm.
It's for all of Thorntown. There is no petitioner, and it doesn't involve, well, it involves all the property owners, but it's not really applicable. So I forget, how do I open the public hearing?
You can just say that you're opening the public hearing.
Okay. Okay. We will open the public hearing on the Thorntown UDO at 6:04 on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. You saw his shadow.
Is it possible for you to pull this up on the overhead screen?
Does every town have to have a groundhog?
No.
So.
I don't think this works. Yeah.
Is that chapter 2?
Yes.
See, number 1 was just the introductory provisions.
It's not going to have. I don't think it's going to have.
Oh.
It's not going to have. It's not going to have the markups.
It's not gonna have the old numbers?
No.
Okay.
So we need the new numbers.
Those are the new numbers.
Those are the new numbers.
Correct.
Okay, I'm
I've
plugging
got-
up in my right ear.
Yeah.
So,
I've got the old numbers in my old document.
okay, you've got the old numbers.
Yeah, so.
All right, after last week, it was discussed, the setbacks, and it was kind of like, we keep changing the setbacks, and after a while, everybody's gonna have all their buildings in the middle of their property. And there's no yard next to anything, and it just, we wanted to space it out, not make things so compact, for any garages or any outbuildings that people might want to add to their property. One of the things that those have changed from the past, and the living area has dropped from 1,200 square feet for single family to 900 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that is a 30 by 30 structure. That's not bad for a house. If you had a garage, you don't count the garage anyway on your square feet. And that's just a single
Point at the
floor.
numbers if you want me to, Don,
Uh-huh.
show which numbers change.
Yeah.
Do you want me to get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can, if you do that up here, they can see it better.
He's so used to
Forgot
being
there's two
over there.
screens.
Yeah, I forgot there's 2 screens. So I guess the importance of wanting to make sure you guys see these numbers or a lot of the ordinances that were created just didn't exist before. So there's nothing there to change, right? So it's new stuff like hanging signs on the building. There's a process now to go through that. But what physically has changed from what we originally had in our original ordinance, and these numbers have changed. So you really need to think about these values. This value used to be 1,200 square feet. Now it's 900 square feet.
Correct.
So that has changed from our original ordinance. This used to be 1,200 square feet, and now it's 900 square feet as well. And if you can see, it's the single family column, multifamily column. The minimum lot width used to be 100 feet. Now it's 75. Minimum rear setback from a primary structure, that used to be 20 feet. Now it's 10. And the same here, this used to be 20 feet and now it's 10. Accessory structure right here. Used to be 10 feet, now it's 5. Used to be 10 feet, now it's 5. And a maximum impervious surface coverage, so concrete or non-porous concrete. Anything solid that does not absorb water. Let's see. It used to be 45%, now it's 50. And this actually had two numbers, 65.
I think that's because it was likely that it was most likely that it was 55
Got it.
first, and then it got changed to 65 and then changed again to 50.
Okay. So this value went through a little bit of changes. It was 55, then to 65, and now it's back to 50, or it's 250 now. So these are the values that we've had established prior in our old ordinance that are changing.
Yeah, the very top one, the maximum height of a structure, originally it was no higher than the primary structure. And we did a lot of talking about that, and we just set it at 35 feet.
Well, it's actually, we didn't actually change that. It's still limited by the primary structure. I didn't make that change to the draft. It's at the bottom there.
Oh, primary structure is 35 feet. Yeah, okay. Yeah, the accessory structure, so any barn or garage you put in, would be a maximum of 25 feet for single and two family.
And that conversation came up with someone with a bigger home can build a larger barn.
Yeah,
And then someone with a smaller home couldn't build a barn that's large, even though they may have the land on it.
What about, like, if somebody wants to build a garage that's attached to their home? Is
They
that-
can't go more than 35 feet.
Because it's attached to the house, it's not an accessory structure, it's
Yeah.
just part of the.
They just, okay.
So it can be,
So I did tell the
So
story
it
about,
It can be 35 feet.
if the house is 15 feet.
If the house is 15 feet, it could be, well, yes, like, it could be as tall as whatever the building height limit is, right? So the primary structure is still limited at 35 feet.
So you can build at 35.
Right.
As long as you're attached to.
As long as
To
it's,
the house.
As long as it's
part
attached
of
to
that
the house.
primary
It's not
structure.
attached, it's 25 feet.
Right.
No matter what size or height the dwelling is.
It's also limited by the size of the dwelling, as it's currently written.
Yeah.
So,
So if you have a single story house and you want to build a 25-foot garage, it's not happening.
right. And as Don was saying, there was a lot of discussion about that at the information session. You know, the explanation that Deb and I gave was that you don't want the accessory structure to overwhelm the primary structure because the primary structure is primary. And so that's the intention behind limiting it to be no larger than the primary structure.
But if we change the wording to living space, non-living space, kind of changes the whole scope, right? Like if your main structure is your living space and it's a single story house, but you have an RV that you want to build a garage to park it in on your property, you can't do it.
Well, you would still be able to get a variant. You would be able to request. a
You
variance
would have to go
and-
through a variance.
Right.
Right.
And as Deb explained last time, we think that's the appropriate level of control, because we don't want, if you just allow people to build up to that height, then there's no process through which we can evaluate what they're doing with that new structure. And so that allows people to do things like hide a business that's not authorized to be on the property, or do something in that new structure that they're doing that nobody's aware of because we didn't get a chance to even really look at it. So that's kind of the intention there is,
Sure.
then you have to go through the variance process, and through there you have to justify, why do I need this variance? Why am I building this height?
And these are all posted on the website.
Yes.
Yeah,
Anything
I
else?
spend my good time on that.
I think that was the big item.
That was the biggest item.
Yeah.
A signed ordinance has been added. Thorntown has never had a signed ordinance. That was, Sean McClintock was on the town council for a few years, and he was then with the APC before that, and that was his little pet project, and then we started working on it again and held back because they were doing this and they were adding it, and now I attended a workshop down at French Lick a couple years ago, and the main thing you got to watch out is you can't really restrict what they put on their signs, but you can restrict the signs and the lighting and the physicality of it, but you can't restrict what they put on it.
Right.
To a degree.
Where do I find that in here?
It should be in chapter 3. You can see there on that first page of chapter 3, there's a list of all the standards that are included there. And so it's going to be towards the middle of that chapter.
So one of the things that, speaking of signs, so these fine people that are putting all the internet signs, that's no more, right?
Internet sign.
The yard signs, like a garage sign.
Internet services.
One time I seriously filled up the back of a Toyota pickup because I went and picked every one of them up because I had 16 of them in my own yard.
So
That the county is cluttered with them. They're nailing them to telephone poles. They dry rot. They're blowing everywhere. As far as I'm concerned, if they can catch those people, the fine should be just huge. It's out of control.
And there's actually in the ordinance, it talks about political signs during elections, and the size of those, I believe, and how long they can actually be in your yard.
Yard sale signs are still good, right?
Yes, yard
Yes.
sale signs are still good.
yes, temporary, you're allowed to have temporary signs. In that duration there under temporary signs, it says, while the property is for sale or for lease, while a project is under construction, and then 30 consecutive days, but no more than twice. A 30 consecutive day period, but no more than 2 such periods in a year, in a calendar year. So, I mean, if somebody else is putting signs on your property like that, that sounds like a like a
They're-
trespassing
I don't
criminal
know.
matter.
I don't believe they're allowed the easement either.
I can't really talk about that.
Does the ordinance specifically address being inside the right of way?
I believe it said something about that. Or blocking the turns when you pull up to. a
Yes,
stop sign.
there's stuff in here about, oh, yep. It's under, it's on page 19 and 20. It says prohibited sign locations and includes right of way unless authorized. such as a road sign or something.
Museums,
Page 20,
museums.
section A, whatever.
10 feet.
And there is also prohibitions on signs that obstruct the clear sight triangle, and they are required to be at least 10 feet back from the property line.
So then I'm gonna bring up another one that's probably gonna be sticky. So Arbor is one of the worst ones where they just clutter in our roads, clear out to my farm, they got them out on there. And I just don't agree with it. Come and ask permission, no different than a political sign, I'll let you put it on there. But just to come and clutter it up and then they blow into the fields, how is that gonna be handled? Because they're plastering them through town.
And who's gonna handle it? That'd be the next question.
Everybody knows where they're at. This is Thorntown. It's not too big a town.
Right.
You'll find it.
Does that
Right.
fall on Frank?
That's not really covered in the ordinances because it's activity, while it's clearly related to their development, right? It's not activity. These standards are sort of written and intended to be from the perspective of you're the property owner, this is what you're doing on your property. And again, like I said, that kind of thing where somebody else is coming onto your property and putting signs, that's outside of the purview of these ordinances, but certainly the town can have and should have maybe ordinances that address that. If there isn't something on the books already.
Would the word be trespassing?
I mean, that's what it sounds like to me, but I'm not a lawyer, so.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
They have to go before the town board
It's
for
like,
them to,
yeah, I mean, that's definitely something, like I said, that's outside of the scope of these
You still can't come on my
these
property
ordinances, but
and put that sign.
Oh.
you can't adopt an ordinance that does that.
Can't put a sign on my property, whatever.
Which, and it was pointed out last week, Deb brought it up, that if we have an ordinance and people keep wanting a variance, or like, well, maybe we need to change that ordinance.
Right.
And that's something that can be done, which then be handled with the county, but
Right.
that's something that's always a possibility. If people keep wanting variances for a particular ordinance, we need to revisit that ordinance and make some recommendations.
Right.
So, it's,
Like I said, I mean, if you just drive over to Westfield, Carmel, Noblesville, every builder's got his sign on every corner. Go to Lebanon, go to CVS. There's, I don't know how many different builders got their sign there. We know what, Gary should be able to go put his diesel shop sign there too. Is there a difference? No, there's not.
I had a gentleman put gravel down for my drop-off garage, and he said, keep that sign, keep the sign up for a little bit for me until your wife tells you she's tired of looking at it, or you're tired of mowing around it. But it was like on my own, just about after 30 days, I said, well, that's long enough. I'm just gonna take it down.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes
I
it's common
totally
sense.
get that.
Yeah,
Guy doing heating, cooling, because I mean,
yeah. I'm gonna vote for Mark Dunwoody this next election. I don't know what he's running for, but he usually has a lot of signs up. Any other comments on the UDO?
On the minimum home size standard of 900, Marcel, something, maybe I'm just missing, I'm not seeing, is there any design standard for the height or the pitch of the roof?
For the pitch of the roof, there is no, I don't believe that Deb and I included we did not include any sort of specific design or architectural standards in this proposal. If that's something the town is interested in adopting, you can always revisit that, but we wanted to have make sure that Thorntown had a robust zoning ordinance that gave sort of a minimum baseline of standards that would effectively control that we thought would effectively control development, most of the development that might be coming in this way soon. While architectural standards you often find those in these kind of ordinances, they're like they're kind of like an add-on when it comes to writing these development ordinances.
You're talking like brick fascia, no aerial signs. And so when you go to Carmel, everything looks the same.
Right.
Is there,
What my concern would be is if you have a 900 square foot house with a 312 pitch roof and 7-foot ceilings, it's gonna look really,
Mhm.
really poorly built. And that could be an issue if you're building that same house next to a custom built home. So that's something to think about.
So where should the
what
pitch
pitch did
be?
you say?
Well, a 412 pitch is about minimum for a normal
Yeah,
standard roof.
well, I think it's code minimum.
For
for state.
manufactured home, it's not, I don't think. I think 312 will still
Yeah,
pass for a manufactured
architectural's
home.
overlay. You gotta use architectural shingles, but yeah.
Yeah. So that would be the concern. If you're looking at an 800 square foot manufactured home with 312 pitch, it's gonna look like a tin can. So just something to think about.
I'll say that when it comes to the manufactured homes, those are only allowed in the high density residential zoning district, which currently with this proposed zoning map only applies to the places where there's already manufactured homes. So anyone looking to build new ones outside of those areas would need to go through a rezoning process, at which point there'd be an opportunity to look at what they're proposing for their designs and say, hey, we don't like this we don't like this roof pitch in this area. And so hopefully that will provide some time and opportunity to see, if there's problems arising that need to be addressed with additional standards.
And another thing I would consider on the minimum square footage is the possibility of looking at an overlay district for your main thoroughfares to maybe change that minimum in those overlays so that you don't have those tiny houses along the main thoroughfares. If that makes sense.
No, that's a good suggestion.
Can you say that one more time, please?
So you would have an overlay district that would cover the main thoroughfares, and you could identify those main thoroughfares however you wanted to. But that's the entrances to your town, basically.
You're wanting to avoid tiny homes through
You
the
want to
major
avoid the really
arteries
small
and
houses
roads.
along
Yeah.
those main thoroughfares. And we could add the overlay district later, right, Marcellus?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any other discussion? Close. Okay, we will close the public hearing at 6:25, February 2nd. And then as the APC, we need to decide if we want to give favorable, non-favorable,
You
or,
only have the choice of favorable.
oh, okay.
So if it's not a favorable recommendation, then
We're wasting.
there's no recommendation to be given tonight.
Okay. If you want to make it favorable, we need a motion to make it favorable.
Anything else we need to do?
What's that?
Anything else we need to do?
No, I'm still stuck on this, the changes on these setbacks.
Yeah.
Would someone like to make a motion to make a favorable recommendation to the town council?
We have to go back. So if we don't give you a favorable, and we have changes or comments, can it be a favorable with comments?
Amy sent that email out. I don't know if all of you got a chance to look at that.
Not gonna change at this point. They've not been changed at this point in time. That's what Eric's talking about, I think.
Yeah.
I don't want them like they are.
Okay,
I didn't see anything from,
Oh, that's because it was an email to the town council and
And me.
you.
oh,
Oh,
okay.
okay.
Okay,
That's
was
why
it
we
great?
didn't get it. I was gonna say.
the town council holds a meeting oh, we just have to recommend the UDO as written? Or wait, may certify the proposal to adopt the UDO, the town council by written certification. And then the town council will publish a notice of public hearing. Did you guys get Amy's email or read it? You guys would have to set up a public hearing, let's see. And then the town council holds a public hearing and considers the UDO.
Mhm.
You can adopt the UDO as presented, can adopt an amended UDO, or can reject the UDO.
Right.
If the town council rejects the UDO, further consideration of the UDO is prohibited for 1 year after the date the council rejects it. And the certification for the PC must be on file for public examination. That'd be what we would sign tonight, for at least 10 days before the hearing. So if you were to schedule the public hearing at your next meeting, that would be plenty of time.
Right.
See, and then they can do it to accept it with some changes, if we want to make changes.
The issue I have is the changes with those values.
What would you like them to
We
be?
can't
To go
accept
back-
it,
to
then
go
make
back
changes,
to-
can't we?
Just go back to where they were.
What
You want to make no
We accept it,
changes
can we
to
make
any of
The
them?
setbacks or?
Correct.
That's
Go
your
back to the
opportunity
original
to make
changes,
changes
original-
before you accept.
The original square footage, everything.
That's what I'm getting at.
That's where I'm hung up on. It's,
I don't like some of the stuff.
I've heard enough pushback from the folks in town in regards to the minimum square foot, and I don't, I can't take hold of everyone in
You guys-
town.
you guys can make fine.
But I'm getting enough pushback when I talk about it, that it's giving people heartburn.
Well,
And so that's why I'm saying, I'm not so sure that's a good idea to revise.
Well, the thing
If you,
is,
if you wait, then, if they wait, then
any property in town that's empty won't take the house much bigger than 900.
which is typically.
And if they're gonna build
Someone's
one-
Trying to sneak something in before you get past.
I feel like they're gonna build right. I mean, that's my gut feeling. They're not gonna go set up ceilings and the real low pitch roof. Gotcha. But, you know, and I understand what you're saying, but the
Yeah, I'm just
setbacks,
I'm going back to the established values that previous APCs in the town have all.
yeah, but
happy
it's,
with
things have evolved and, you know, people aren't into the huge houses anymore.
Be that close.
I mean,
You want them back.
the houses out at Arbor are good size, but the properties aren't very big.
Right, it's all, it's all house in our brand.
That way you got 20
And
feet
then
between houses.
there are people that might want to build in town and have something
The back one
small
ought to be 10 feet.
to,
Back also,
you know,
and they've cut it down.
you hear about people downsizing all the time.
In our ordinance now.
Well, we want to build in the slot, but we can't because
And I don't agree
we can't
with
afford
the-
$1,200 square
That
foot.
doesn't make sense in my garage.
Did they change 900-foot houses?
No, that's what we were talking about.
I like your idea though.
But we can still take a vote and I can like
If we
vote
have,
nay. There's three of
if we
them.
have a
If you guys
900
are
square
all
foot
with it.
minimum,
No, that's,
then I like
that's
your
your
idea.
prerogative.
It- I'm stuck on it. I'm stuck on those values.
So can you split it
We
down?
need
You
to-
gotta compromise,
I mean,
right?
So
I'll just say-
900.
I just, and it sounds, I don't have enough information to be able to render a comfortable decision.
I haven't taken any sort of survey of built conditions here in Thorntown, but I'll say my experience with the other town I work for is when they adopted their UDO about 10 years ago now, they had setback standards that were similar to the ones that Thorntown has now.
Living in it.
Um,
And the fact
and-
that we did it for so long.
Last year,
Well, I have only done it for so long.
I had 4 BZA applications for variances on the setback
That's a good answer.
because, and every single one of them passed, was approved because the BZA was saying, well, the other built houses in town already have garages that are at those setbacks. Or the people were saying, this new shed that I'm building is matching the setback of an existing garage. So I suspect that what has happened with a lot of towns is when they adopted new standards, they wanted new standards that would maybe give a look that they thought would sort of raise the profile of the town maybe, but it doesn't actually match what already is built in town.
Yeah. Actually, I always thought.
And while you can do that, there's nothing wrong with that. It does mean that every single time anybody who has a property already in town wants to modify that property in some way, they're now going to run up against standards that their property might not be able to meet.
Okay, so what I hear you saying is by leaving it as it is, it allows people to go to a BZA to change it, you know, to promote their argument. But if we don't have it this way, then there's property just won't work, period. And it's taken completely out of the residential, building a residential.
What I'm saying is that you want the variance process, the way the variance process is supposed to work is that it's for unique exceptional circumstances.
Right.
Right? But if you design your code in a way where the majority of properties are falling under these challenges, you've designed your ordinance wrong. It's not the BZA, like,
I see.
right?
If
So
all the properties are this and your ordinance states this isn't cool, everyone's going to still want to match it, then you're going to the BZA process
over and over and over again.
Well, I guess that's why I'm driving at is not changing it.
Well, and like I said, I haven't done any sort of survey on how many properties in town, existing properties in town already meet the standards that exist now.
So fundamentally, that's really what it comes down to.
That's, yeah,
If the majority of the properties match our existing standard,
right.
then we're good to go.
Then there's no
No
real
BZA.
need to there's no real harm in changing.
I could have swore the back line was 10 feet.
But
Okay. And it doesn't preclude us from having a BZA, well, okay. Oh. All right.
Now, in part, with these setbacks, down the road here, so what we're looking at is, I'll just say 150 houses that are at a certain setback.
Okay, now they have their own UDO,
They got their own.
kind of.
All right,
Yep,
you take that out.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, they're governed by a PUD ordinance.
Basically.
This is like here in town, the township.
Yeah, basically, when you have a big development like that, they will usually apply for a PUD rezoning. And so that essentially creates a new zoning district that applies to that property. And because it's a new zoning district, they can write the standards that they want to have in that subdivision.
You know, and Grumpy actually brought that up, I think, last week is, changing them to make the setbacks shorter so people have more use of their property. And I just think, if everybody starts packing everything, we're going to look like all these cottages on a lake. Everybody's going to have all their stuff packed together because everything's so small.
I didn't bring up to make them shorter, I want the setback farther, not shorter. You guys made them shorter.
Oh, I thought you were the one wanting them shorter.
No, you guys made them shorter. The setbacks on the side need to be at least 10 foot, and the ones on the back need to be 10 foot. You got them down to 5 foot. Now you can spit in the window of your neighbors, they put them right there, you only got 10 foot between them, you can't hardly run a lawnmower between them.
5 feet is for accessory structures. So that would be like for a detached garage or a shed, not your house.
I thought you-
No, the side yard
For the-
setback is 5 feet.
For the rear, for the side, yes. 5 feet.
Yeah, you had 5 feet and you back of the back, you had 5 foot, I think.
In the back, it's 5 feet for accessory
Just
structures,
for garages and maybe.
not for the primary structures.
I
So the
would leave
house
back.
still has to be 10 feet away from the rear setback line,
Just keep-
but your garage can be 5 feet.
How can you have a 10-foot setback for a house and 5 foot for a garage and have a garage in there? It's this wide.
Well,
That doesn't make sense.
it wouldn't necessarily, your house, well, most people don't put their house right up against the rear setback line. Most lots are larger than that. But, you know, these are not requirements, right? These are minimums. So if you don't have space to put your garage behind your house and 5 feet back from your rear lot line, then you don't have space to put your garage there. It's not gonna go there. But like if your house is, you know, if you've got like maybe a long lot and your house is kind of to the side, and you've got space in your side yard to build a garage there, that garage can be back a little bit farther than your house can.
But the next guy's house, if you got butted up properties, the next guy's house could be 5 foot from the property line.
On the side, yes.
On the back, you got 5 foot on the back for,
No, only for accessories. So the person behind you's garage can be 10 feet away from your garage, but their house is still 20 feet away from your house.
okay, I still don't back off on the side ones. The side ones too close.
You know, and again, those are for outbuildings, accessory buildings, not your main structure.
Well, on the side when it's for
Yeah,
both.
down for the main structure.
It says
for
for the 5
side.
foot.
Yeah, side.
Yeah, look.
Minimum side yard setback primary structure.
But was that a change?
I don't have that as a change.
Yeah, that wasn't a change. That's
That's been 5
the
feet.
side yard setback, we didn't touch that.
Yes, it is. In our ordinance, it is 5 feet.
Yeah.
It's been 5 feet for years.
They told me it was 7 feet when I got my garage.
I just looked.
Somebody's did.
Yeah, real quick, guys, just since Grumpy's here, real quick, what changed? This number used to be 100 feet. This number used to be 1,200 feet.
Mhm.
This is 1,200 square feet per unit as well. This number was 4,500 square feet. These numbers have not changed. Primary structure rear yard, that was 20 feet, it is now 10 feet. This was 20 feet, and now it's 10. This was 10 feet, now it's 5. This was 10, now it's 5. This was 45%, now it's 50. This was 65%, now it's 50.
What's the one you said up there was, that you changed, was, I don't go for the 900 square foot deal either.
That one right there, that used to be 1,200, now it's
Well, that's
9.
what it needs to be, is 1,200. I don't know why you changed it.
That used to be 100, now it's 75.
What's that for?
Minimum lot width for a multifamily. You just require 100 feet, now it's 75 feet. Minimum lot area used to be 4,500 square foot per unit, dropped it to 3,000 square foot per unit. These values didn't change. This is the minimum rear yard setback for the primary structure. That value used to be 20 feet, now it's 10. That's for a single house. This value used to be 20 feet, now it's 10. Accessory structure, so that'd be your shed or detached garage. Used to be 10 feet, now it's 5. Used to be 10 feet, now it's 5.
I don't agree with the 900 square foot house either.
Yeah.
We just made 163 of them be 1,200 square feet.
So Grumpy, me and John figured it out the other night. The difference between a 900 square foot home and a 1,200 square foot home, by today's standards, we came up with a rough estimate of a difference of $76,000. So not everybody has a lot of money, and they don't always want to live in a crappy old home. So by doing this, they may have the opportunity to have just a little nicer home for their family. We got all kinds of
$76,000?
small
Yeah.
Homes here that could be torn down and a 900 square foot home would fit perfectly on there. And if you want to put it on a full basement, it's now 1,800. And now if you put a second story on, it's 2,700. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
And the properties in town are not gonna accommodate a lot of bigger houses.
Correct.
Right.
I mean,
There's a lot
it's,
of 900
you have
square
two
foot homes.
properties and they're not that big, right?
Yeah, because I mean, how am I gonna build another house on that property?
Yeah,
If we don't get the 900 square foot?
exactly.
Like to know whose
Especially if we
house-
add
whose
all the
house is in
setbacks.
town here at 900 square foot, name me about 5 of them. Because you can't do it.
Why? I mean, it's,
You can't do it because they aren't here. We don't have 900
So
square
Shay-
foot house.
Well, you can't because that's, or we've had a 1,200 square foot.
Right.
ordinance, So you wouldn't have one unless. it
name me
predated
empty
the
lots in the town where people can, and build houses right now.
I don't know whether there's any. but
Right.
I don't go around looking at them.
Well, I don't go around looking for 900 square foot houses,
Well,
but
I don't agree that we need 900 square foot houses. We need 1,200 square foot houses.
people are not wanting that much room anymore.
Smaller is it?
Then why don't we let them just drag in those little mini homes like Bechtold wanted to for his mother-in-law and put them all over town?
Because we're coming up with ordinances to control things.
Yeah, I know it. They're not 1,200.
Can we go back to that $76,000 number? So you're telling me that a 900 square foot home, what was the next size up you were looking at?
1,200.
1,200.
Yeah.
What was the price
And
difference?
when you were, and I'm assuming it's napkin sketches, but shoot from the type numbers, but where was the cost difference primarily in that as
It's all
far as
material.
just all materials and labor? It's just,
Material prices are so high
Mhm.
that it is a massive difference for 300 square feet.
You can look at about $275 a square foot.
Mhm.
And by that,
I remember when it
it'd
was
be
like
more,
60.
because I think we use 225.
And it's more expensive to own a home. It's harder for the next generation to be able to get into a home. We got more renters. I mean, I don't necessarily love the 900 square foot concept either, but I think in the future, that's probably the direction things are gonna go.
Yeah.
Smaller, more efficient, more
People are getting
compact.
away from the big houses with the high peak
unless
roofs.
unless you want a community that only
Look at
has
the heating costs.
2,500 square foot.
I'm dying
homes.
over here in my antique house. It's not worth it. If I could go 900 square feet, go compact, be efficient, heat it with a candle, it'd be great. It'd be great.
Actually, you can with a candle and a terracotta pot.
Right.
Yes.
So,
Okay. $76,000 is a big number.
yes, it
It
is.
is.
5 years ago.
Energy costs are only going to increase.
Nothing's gonna
It's not.
decrease.
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna decrease.
I had a conversation with a very well-known person in Boone County. And he made a comment about Fountain County and their not having all these ordinances and things that Boone County has. And something I told him, now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you don't need some control of things. But if there's somebody out there, a mom and a dad, and all they can do is build a glorified mini barn, and their kids are dry and warm, and most of all love, who in the hell are we to tell them they can't do it? I don't think we have that right.
Not if it's their property.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying we should allow glorified mini barns, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, it's almost financial discrimination what happens in like the contiguous county. Tippecanoe.
Would someone like to make a motion to recommend, give a favorable recommendation to the UDO, to the town council? If not, I will. Okay, I recommend we give a favorable recommendation to the UDO to certify it for the town council. Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. Have a motion, do we have a second?
$76,000?
No, it's more than that. He corrected my number.
Prices went up today.
What? It's affordability. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
It is.
Motion's gonna fail.
I mean, do we really want to drive?
It's what the town's gonna look like as a town when we're gone. And you're sitting there thinking about what somebody's gonna do right now.
I have a motion. Is everybody gonna second? Motion fails. Any other business? For tonight?
No.
Okay. Meeting adjourned at 6:47.
All right.
Should've drove it out. So.